Welcome to San Joaquin Spotlight, a public affairs program featuring conversations about life in the central San Joaquin Valley. This program is brought to you in partnership between KFSR 90.7 FM and CMAC Fresno. I'm your host, Sevag Tateosian. Are you thinking about soccer? We are in the studio here thinking about soccer and goals and red cards and yellow cards here with Jeremy Schultz. He is the general manager of the Fresno Fuego. Welcome to the program.
Sevag, thank you. Appreciate you having us.
So you're busy these days, I hear. You've got a couple of big teams coming to Chichansi Park to play the Fuegos. Talk a little bit about this Ararat team.
Yeah, I mean, we're very fortunate with such a deep-rooted Armenian community here in Fresno. When we had the opportunity to talk to a promoter that was working with FC Ararat and bringing them into California, I was quick to say, hey, let's try and figure this out and get them to Fresno, because I think that the last time we had an Armenian team was the national team in 2007. It was well attended. The Armenian community really came out and supported it and showed that passion and pride for their home country. And even though it was in our stadium and we were the away team, it was such a good experience. And we hope that we can do that again with FC Ararat when they come, and the community really embraces that they're here.
It's not as simple, is it, as calling somebody and saying, bring your team? I mean, it sounds like you've got a lot of things going on behind the scenes, even with, Fresno Fuego, because Fresno Fuego is a professional team, but they're not at the, MLS type, are they?
No, that's correct. I mean, we're like what would be considered fourth division. So we're a little lower in the pyramid, but we professionalize everything that we can. Chichansi Park is a beautiful venue for our players, our staff, the fans to come and enjoy soccer. But yeah, it's our goal to move up that American soccer ladder, and hopefully in a few years we can be a full professional side that MLS is pretty lofty goals for us right now. I mean, they're getting into what'll be 24 teams in 2017, and so eventually they'll probably start squeezing that number and making it a little more challenging. But there's two levels that we can move up the ladder and provide professional soccer for our community.
One time I was at the Radisson having lunch, and I saw a professional team from Mexico coming in. I don't want to put you on the spot because you probably have tons of them coming in, but they came in. They were they're built like athletes. And I looked over it and I thought, wow, is this a football team? I mean, who are these well-built guys coming in? Someone said, they're here to play against the Fuego. And I thought, wow, the Fuego, you're making it tough for your home team, aren't you?
You know what? But that's the beauty of the game. I mean, you have these David and Goliath matchups. And back in, it was 2007, actually, same year we played the Armenian national team, we were fortunate enough to beat Chivas USA, which was in the MLS. We beat them 3-1. And at the end of the day, we want to challenge our players. And if they can compete in those games and they make a good showing, I think it brings pride to our community. And the truth is, I think we earn the respect of the soccer fanatics here in this town. And, we're not necessarily expected to win these games, but if we go out, we put on a good show, the players are put in a position where, for me, one of my goals is to move them up to the next level. And if we're able to compete well and showcase some of our community players, then maybe they'll be offered a bigger and better contract, and it helps them get to the next level.
Let's stick to the topic of your players. So say you've got an awesome person on one of your teams, and this person is making goals, or let's say it's the goalie and nothing gets by them. What's next for them after Fuego? And have you seen players kind of just bounce up the chain?
I've been with the team since 2008. And we've been fortunate enough to send 50 players, over 50 players, up to the next
50.
50, yeah. So we've been looked at as a club that produces future high-level professionals, and that's a testament to the talent pool that's in this community, from the youth level all the way to the senior level. And I'll bring up a name, Pablo Campos, who played for FPU, Fresno Pacific. Came to us, played with us for a few years, was MVP of the league. He left from Fresno, signed a contract with a team in Sweden, played a season in Sweden, then he came back and he played for the San Jose Earthquakes and Real Salt Lake. So there's these incredible jumps that these players can make, and a majority of those 50 players have went into a higher level of the minor league system, but there have been a handful that went all the way to MLS. Cyprian Hedrick, another kid that was from Friendswood, Texas, that came in to play with us for a summer, signed with KC, Sporting KC in Kansas City. So it's there. Orlando Ramirez, who's a local player that grew up in the Roosevelt system. Jaime Ramirez, the Fresno Pacific coach, his son,
wow.
Signed with San Jose Earthquakes. Milton Blanco, who will probably be playing with us in these games coming up, signed with Chivas USA, played with Columbus Crew. So there's a lot of local players here that are extremely talented that kind of utilize us as a platform to be showcased and seen and get experience and get their game sharp, and then they move on to the next level.
Now, can they make a profession out of this at the Fuego level, or are you looking at them getting other part-time jobs or maybe even full-time jobs?
Our players, we can pay for housing, we can pay for meals, things like that, but we cannot give our players a salary. So that's where the difference is. So we house players over the summer. Like I said, when we travel, we take care of them, all those things. But we have elite level collegiate athletes in our program as well, and per NCAA Division I rules, we can't pay those athletes. So in order for them to keep their amateur status and pursue their final years of college, we have to play within those rules of engagement. So.
Talk a little bit about these players some more. I mean, you know, when you think of like the players that are on the level of the national teams, they're on a strict diet. They're making sure they're getting protein and not too many carbs or whatever. You know, as you can tell, I'm not the expert in fitness.
Me neither.
But I know that from the professional athletes, I know that they cheat a little bit, but for the most part, they're strict diet. Are your players? I mean, are they at the level where, you know what, they're saying, you know what, we're going to eat healthy and we're going to work out a lot?
You know, we don't have a nutritionalist on the team, on our staff, but we do have a trainer that's obviously certified and a certified athletic trainer. We work with local companies such as Physio Motion, Jason Gray's Rehabilitation and Strength Building Center, and those athletes, our athletes, have the ability to go to those locations, work with David Holford, our certified trainer, and they stay on a pretty strict diet. I mean, they're like you said, they cheat a little bit and they do some things, and they don't have somebody that's like monitoring their every bite. But at the end of the day, they know what it takes to get to the next level, and we have high expectations for them as players and working within the framework of our team. And if they're not taking care of their bodies, it's going to show when they go to compete. And so for the most part, they're very disciplined, they're committed athletes, and they're aspiring to get to that next level, and in order to do that, they have to be strong, properly nourished, and be able to push their bodies.
When the World Cup comes, you see soccer mania, man. I mean, it's flags of countries: Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, Mexico, all the Russia, all these countries, USA. Yeah. Flags are everywhere. When the World Cup comes around, do you see popularity increase in the Fuego, or how does that work?
It's a little bit of a catch-22 for us, and I'll tell you why. Everybody is in for World Cup, and it is such an incredible environment. And you go to a pub, and the atmosphere is phenomenal. And you know, when the U.S. is playing, for instance, at Peeves, Public House downtown, you have to get there 2 hours early to even get a spot to be able to see the screen. And that's exciting. But sometimes I see on World Cup years where people are so busy with the World Cup, sometimes they don't get out to our games. Now, pending our schedule, and I've seen it both ways, if we have a game that's maybe on a Thursday night and the U.S. or Mexico is not playing until the weekend, then we will benefit from that because everybody's got that soccer energy and they're just pumped and ready to go. But if there's a Saturday morning U.S. game or a Friday night Mexico game, and then we have a conflicting schedule there, you'll see that our crowd actually goes down just a little bit.
Officialing, is it the same rules as many of us watch soccer on as the World Cup, and the yellow cards and the red cards and players getting mad when they get a yellow card and a little bit of the acting when they go down? Fresno Fuego, if I were to go to a Fuego match and I generally know the rules for World Cup soccer, am I going to follow the game?
It's the same. There's a few slight adjustments for our particular league. but we all play by the FIFA rules. So I say that things change, such as substitutions. In an international game, you only have 3 subs. We actually can sub 6. There's no
Gotcha.
re-entry, just like at the international level. So if a player comes off, can't come back on. But all the rules of the game are the same. Yeah, there's no tweaks or adjustments. Now, when you start talking about officials, obviously our game is very, very emotional. If you, just as any sports, you know, if you're passionate about something, but it's an emotional game, and officials, good, bad, indifferent, however you think of them, they have the ability to change a game, and sometimes their perception of something is different than a fan's or a player's, and you question what's going on the field. But at the end of the day, it's the same rule book that we play by as an international game.
Where do you find your players? I mean, let's say that you've got a kid in Central High School or wherever. I'm saying Central because I went to school out there. But let's say you've got a kid at X and Y High School that you look at this kid, he or she making headlines all over the place, and they're doing very good. Do you have the ability to go and nab the kid, or how does that work?
I mean, we work with we have 15 different youth partner clubs. I'm very close to many of the high school coaches in the area. Majority of our players come from the college programs, but I will say this, the one thing that Fuego has tried to do over the course of the last 14 years is keep our team with local flavor. And we feel like it's especially at the level where we are right now, it's a platform for these local kids to get exposure, to play at a level where they'll be groomed to move on to the next level. Now, it's kind of funny that you bring this up because just Friday, obviously we're in a world of social media, and I had a tweet come across, and it wasn't addressed to me, but it happened to be the very first message on my board, on my, like the community board or the wall that was there. And it was Danny Trejo, a kid from Mendota. And I had heard about this young player as a junior in high school. I had heard about him a couple times from a few different coaches, and some of the players you hear talk about him a little bit. And there was a video, and it said, Danny Trejo scores 115th goal, breaks Mendota's all-time record as a junior. So I tweet back and I say, I would like to meet Danny. And so tomorrow night I'm going out to Mendota to watch a game. So,
well, congratulations on that. And
thank you.
You know, when that kind of stuff happens and the kids know that there's opportunity for them after high school, I bet you that makes them feel good. I bet you when you go see him, he's going to be excited that there's going to be someone watching.
Yeah, we hope so. I mean, for me, I grew up in Madera, and I remember as a young boy, elementary school, coming and watching the Fresno State men's program. Femi Olakani, who I ran into at Pro Soccer, one of the local soccer shops just last week. And I told Femi, I said, you know, I remember when I was a young boy watching you and how much you inspired me and how I wanted to replicate the way you played when I played in my under-12 games, you know. And I said, I hope that our Fresno Fuego players can inspire the young kids of this community just like you did for me. And I hope that that's the case. And I hope that, you know, when we reach out to a local high school player that's doing well, that's making some noise, and people are recognizing him, when we reach out and say, hey, we want to come watch you play, that he's excited about that. And hopefully as he progresses through his career, he's going to want to put on a Fuego jersey and wear that badge, that crest with pride over his heart to come and represent his community.
What advice do you give for parents out there with young kids? So I have a couple of kids, they're in diapers already, and there's a while before they get to the age of playing anything, but I throw a soccer ball and a football at them and they throw it back at me. Advice for parents when you know, they want to get their kids active.
Yeah, you know, that's always a difficult subject. When I came into the Fuego in 2008, before I became the GM, I was running a youth club, a competitive youth club in Visalia called South Valley United. And I was the first person to say, you know, come out and be a part of this club. It's a 10-month out of the year soccer club. You're playing year-round. We want to groom you and keep you sharp and all these things. But I've got 3 children of my own as well. And I have a hard time because I look back and reflect on my own playing career. I didn't actually start playing club soccer till I was 14 years old.
So you started a little later than...
I did, and you know, you see all these injuries now, the ACLs with the knees, and I begin to question myself of, are some of the kids now not well-rounded in terms of muscle memory because they're just playing one sport? When I grew up, we played basketball, football,
baseball.
I swam. Yeah, we baseball, everything. And so you had these seasons of sport, and you had a little bit of a rest for your body, and you were almost developing different motor skills and different things. And I sometimes question myself, saying, man, is that a better route to have an athlete when they're prepared to compete at an elite level, or do they need to be inclusive and just with one sport? I don't know right now what the answer is. And I can tell you with my 3 kids, my oldest daughter, who's now 13, she played club soccer for a couple of years. It was a wonderful experience. We met incredible families that we're very close friends with, and kids from all over the community that go to different schools, and they're all still friends now. And it was almost positive on the social growth as much as it was the soccer growth. And so really, I think you have to identify what kind of personality and the motivation of your son or daughter, and what drives them. You know, if they are waking up in the morning and grabbing a soccer ball and that's all they can think about, then it's probably good for them to get into that type of environment where they're training 10 months out of the year. But if they get burnt out 3 months into the season, they're like, I don't want to go to training, then they may need a change, and they need to focus on some different pockets of things to keep their interest level high and getting the demands of their body at the highest possible level at everything that they do.
Good advice, good advice. Let's talk a little bit about this New York team that's coming as well. I mean, we talked a little bit about Ararat. Now you have a New York team which is actually at a higher level.
Yes. They're actually the reigning 2015 NASL Fall League champions. Last year, Raul from Spain played for them, so you're talking about an international icon.
I mean, Raul from Spain.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about a Spanish player who's got name ID.
Yep. Played for Real Madrid. I mean, he's a global superstar in the world of soccer. Now, he's not with them anymore. He did retire. But New York Cosmos always have big names. They always are working with like 18, 19, 20-year-old, 21-year-old kids that are part of our national team pool that are going to be future stars on our national team. And they're just an incredible organization. So we're very fortunate to have the New York Cosmos come in to Fresno and play a game in their preseason. And it's a huge challenge for our players. And, you know, when we step on the field, we expect to compete. We want to win. And when we step out there at Chuck Chancey Park, we're gonna give it everything we've got to get that W.
So when a team like New York comes into town and the Fuegos play that team, are there extra eyes now watching? I mean, how does that work? Because a team like that comes in, do you feel like there's now this added attention that wasn't there maybe before?
We hope so. I mean, we invest dollars into these games to get these teams to come to the community, and at the end of the day, it's a piece of our business plan that you know, hopefully we can reach out to more of this community that maybe their interest is FC Ararat, or maybe their interest is New York Cosmos because it's been a global name for, you know, or an American iconic name from years past in the NASL. But maybe they come out to the game, they watch it because they want to see their team, and then they realize, wow, we got a nice group of boys that are representing the Fresno Fuego here that can play good soccer, and now maybe they'll come back and support and embrace our team.
When you bring in teams like this, these are not your standard teams that the Fuego play. So there has to be added cost to your organization. So how important is it for community members to come out and actually watch these games and actually, you know, spend some money? Because, you know, we're all on a budget. Yep. We're all, you know, very frugal. I shouldn't say we're all, but most of us are frugal. But when it comes time for entertainment like this, where you as Fresno Fuego now have undertaken additional costs, how important is it for people like me who don't necessarily go to Fuego games to go to this game?
I mean, it's critical for the longevity of our team. There's no question. And we take risk in committing and contracting these games. But we've also taken calculated risks because of the fact that we've been fortunate enough to bring multiple games in each year. And this community is a thriving soccer community. And we get new fans every year that come out and watch some of these early games against professional teams and realize, hey, this is fun. This is a fun family environment. It's very affordable in the big scheme of things. When these games are a little bit more expensive to attend,
naturally to make up for the added cost.
Exactly. We like these games in particular. We take the pitcher's mound out. We cover all of the baseball infield with the natural sod. Getting these teams to come to California from where they are, we're responsible for some of those costs and things like that. And it's important and critical that the community comes out and supports. They've done that in the past, and that's why we're willing to continue to bring games to the park and allow our boys to be able to compete against these guys. Now, when you look at our PDL season and you talk about family entertainment and affordability, you can get an adult season ticket for $50. It gives you 7 of our home games. It gives you 2 vouchers, so you can either bring a friend or the Fresno Freeze, our women's team. Well, it'll work if they have single fixture games. We can use those tickets to attend their games. And you get 1 exhibition game for free. Now, I shouldn't say for free, built into that package. So you get a total of 10 tickets for $50. And the game that you get in the exhibition is the March 3rd Sacramento Republic game. Not only do you get the 10 tickets for $50, you get a scarf, which I brought for you tonight. You get a scarf, and you get a Fresno Fuego customized pint glass. So it's an incredible deal to be a season ticket holder for Fuego. And I tell people, to me, it's not a season ticket holder. You're now a member of our club. You're a member of our family. I want to start calling those season ticket holders memberships, because you're investing in something for the future that's going to be very bright in this community.
How many games? I know that, if you get the membership, you just mentioned how many games there are, but are there any additional games, or how many games in the season for the Fuego?
So we play 14 games, and it's built from May to July, and then there can be additional games if you make playoffs and, if we're able to host national finals or what have you. So that season ticket package is our 7 PDL home games, but we throw 3 extra tickets in there. So you have the 2 vouchers that you can either bring a friend or attend Freeze games, and you get the March 3rd exhibition as well.
Talk a little bit about the age. So like my oldest kid is 1.5 years. Mm-hmm. If I bring my 1.5 year old, will he have fun?
Yeah, I have a 4-year-old, and she's been at every single Fuego game that we've ever had, and I will say she's had a good time. But that's a tough age, obviously, to take anywhere. I have 3 daughters, so
true.
very very challenging at times, because they can change their mood on a split second. But I think it's captivating for young kids, even if they're not interested in the game. Just being in downtown Fresno in that beautiful park, and on a summer night where the sun is, coming down, it's setting. You have a little bit of that skyscraper in the skyline in the back, and it's good family entertainment. I know from experience that my kids can't wait till Fuego season starts. They love going out to the ballpark. They have gone for so many years now that they recognize fans and they say hi to people, and this community and this soccer market is just growing, and there's a huge family camaraderie out there. And whether you're in the soccer community playing soccer with your kids or you're just a fan, everybody that comes into that stadium and supports Fuego just is so welcoming and embrace our team, and we have a common bond to get behind and cheer for, and I love the environment that we're creating.
We're running out of time this week, but food-wise, so you go to a baseball game, you go to a football game, you can't leave without having some of the food. It's a part of it.
Yeah.
So the Fuego games, if people who haven't been to the Fuego games come out on a hungry stomach, are there food for purchase that they can eat?
Yeah, I mean our concessionaire is Ovations. So if you're familiar with the Grizzlies games, it is the same menus and stuff. But I mean, you got hot dogs, nachos. They do in one concession stand tri-tip sandwiches and tacos, and I mean there's a wide variety of choices to eat. I will say sometimes a little pricey and so expect to pay premium prices for items, just like you would at any ballpark. But yeah, I mean, there's plenty of things to eat.
And you say that, and the food is expensive, but is someone making a killing on the money? Is that?
No, I mean that's a tough question. I mean, obviously for us, we contract with Ovations, and they've been great for us to be somebody that provides top quality service to our fans. And they set those prices, and that's their business that we have to work with them on, and we do the best that we can do through promotions and things like that. Obviously, Thursday nights, just like with baseball, we have Tecate Thursday. So if you want to go out, sit down and have a beer, you can get a $2 24-ounce beer. It's something that I'm working on to make sure the Thursday night games we have coming up will be an option. So there's certain things that are priced reasonably so that you can enjoy it and not break the bank coming out. But anytime you go to a sporting event anywhere in this country, it gets a little pricey at the concession stands.
Real fast, though, when you spend money at the concession, are you helping the Fuego?
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I mean, we get a percentage of that, for sure.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the program. We are running out of time this week, so I'm going to have to cut our conversation short, but I'm excited about the cool things happening with the Fuego. Good luck to you, and go out there and win these teams. Come on, Fuego, let's do it.
Thank you so much for having us. We appreciate it. We hope the community comes out and gets behind the Fresno Fuego.
That's all for this edition of San Joaquin Spotlight. To the volunteer crew that made this production and every production possible, thank you. We couldn't do this without you. They're in the studio right now working on making us look and sound good. Thank you to Jeremy Schultz, the general manager of the Fresno Fuego, the local soccer team. Thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you very much. Thank
you to our audience members listening to 90.7 FM or watching us on the CMAC channel, Comcast 93, AT&T 99. We appreciate and hope you enjoyed this program. My name is Sevag Tateosian, and tune in next week to a new edition.